Hey there, my emptiness friends. If you're feeling like you need to rebuild your confidence, redefine what success looks like now that the kids have left home, and are maybe ready to reclaim your power emotionally, socially, or financially, then today's episode is for you. Today, I'm joined in studio by Joy Rowland, and she's a mentor, speaker, and host of the Next Level Women podcast. I have to tell you, Joy's journey is nothing short of inspiring. She grew up in poverty and survived childhood abuse. She wrestled with imposter syndrome, fear, and that feeling that maybe success wasn't just for her. But we're going to get into all of that and more right now. Joy, welcome to This Empty Nest Life.
Thank you so much, Jay, for having me. I love your podcast, and I feel like it's such a huge privilege being here today. So
Thank you for being on the show and for being a listener. I think that's like a double win for sure. So you've done a lot over the last decade, but what was it? Was there something that kind of kickstarted you to be like, oh, I have to definitely create this idea of the next level woman and help women entrepreneurs or just women in general over 40 be like, no, there's something else here to life. What was the Kickstarter?
yeah, so to go back, I grew up in poverty in northern Nigeria, and I remember at age 6, I had this question in my heart: why is it that people have food to eat, but we don't have food? Why are we struggling? And so those questions were on my heart, and I just wanted to be able to feed my mom and dad. That was my desire,
At
to feed my
six?
mom
At
and dad.
6 years old, that was your desire.
Yeah.
I
Back
love
in
it.
Africa at age 6, you're already working. You're working on the street. Yeah.
Okay. I
You're
love
selling
that. You were
stuff.
looking out for mom and dad. Okay.
Yes. That's the extent of the love I have for my parents. And so that desire kick-started my journey. So at the age of 25, I left for the UK to study. And so my journey has evolved. And so I got to age 40. I had divorced my husband at the time. And so I started asking myself like the questions that most people ask, right? Is this it? Am I meant for more? Is there more for me? And so all of those questions have led me to pursue my desires, my passion. I mean, one of my passions is to help women overcome their self-doubt, because that was who I was. I doubted myself. I didn't believe success was possible for me. I always thought success was possible for other people, but not me. And so my journey has evolved, and all of the things I have learned along my journey, I want to teach other people so that they can see that a lot is left in life after 40. In fact, I believe that that's when life begins. You discover who you are, apart from just being the mom of Ivy, for example.
Okay.
So,
Ivy, your daughter?
yes,
Okay. So your mom, how old is Ivy, if you don't mind me asking?
I don't mind at all. She's 6.
6. Okay. All right. So you're not quite an empty nester, but you've been on a heck of a journey. And so you left Nigeria, you went to study in the UK. Where were you in the UK?
I was in London. So I studied in Middlesex University in the heart of London. I studied business IT, and it was just an incredible experience. And I stayed in the UK for 10 years before coming to Canada.
Okay. So big journey. Your parents still in Nigeria or are they with you
Yes.
now in Canada? Okay. So distance from family, you're striking out on your own and you're wondering, okay, is there more to life now that I've hit my 40s? And I know a big part of that, at least from what I've read about you, is like friendship and community are very powerful tools to helping people be empowered. Why do you believe that sisterhood is so vital during midlife?
Oh gosh, so vital. If you look at when we were early human beings, humans are meant to live in community. We thrive when we have a community of people. But somehow, because of how modern life has taken us to where we are now, there is that disconnect. Many people live solo lives. They try to run their businesses themselves or do life by themselves. And so, what I have discovered is with the power of community and support, you can actually achieve your goals faster with that support. And that's my mission right now, to help women find friendship in midlife and to also find a community, collaboration partners to take their businesses to the next level, or just to be able to do life with somebody else. And so, in my experience, certainly the network I have built of high achieving women has helped me to be more motivated on days when I doubt myself. They pull me up on days when I feel down. And so that's the power of community. And so I believe I am now an evangelist for community and friendship, especially in midlife.
Yeah, I agree 100%. It's so important to have your tribe of people, people you connect with, people who can lift you up or you can bounce ideas off of. I also know for a lot of people who are empty nesters, when the kids leave home, the friends that they had also leave their immediate circle because oftentimes they are the parents of their kids' friends. And so they're left wondering, okay, how do I build community? And I'm sure people who are listening are wondering like, okay, after 40, how do you even go about building a kind of an authentic, growth-minded friendships that can support you both personally and professionally?
Yeah, I love that question so much. And I am learning too. And I'm learning from my daughter. So I will take my daughter out to the park. She's 6 years old. And before I know it, she's talking to this stranger, a girl, another 6 year old. And she introduces herself and she says, "Hi, my name is Ivy. Can we be friends?" And in a space of 30 minutes to an hour, they're already hugging each other and it seems like they've known each other forever. And I'm like, hang on a minute, you just met this person. How are you so skilled at making new friends? And so now I am learning and taking my cues from her. And I believe making friends is so simple because at the heart of it, we are all human beings. And so just connecting at that human level, if you meet someone for the first time, say hello, whether that could be in your local library or even in your grocery store. I have made friends in my grocery store. I see someone, maybe I compliment her hair and I say, "Oh, that color looks nice on you." And before you know it, we're smiling and we're exchanging numbers. So I want to keep it as simple as possible. It can be as simple as saying hello to somebody. Now, I'm not saying everyone you say hello to will become your best friend. No, but that's a good starting point because at the heart of it, every one of us, we need the human connection. I was out one day and it was a homeless guy. I just said hello, good morning to him. And he said hello and good morning back. And he was so surprised that somebody would say good morning to him. And he ran after me and he said thank you. And I'm wondering why. That's the power of human connection. We all desire and we need that human connection. So I love to say, just say hello to somebody. And if you are trying to build relationships online, I recommend attending virtual networking events. There are many free ones. And then from there, you find your tribe.
Yeah, that's such a great point, Joy. And I also appreciate I have a similar story of just chatting up a homeless man when I was living in New York when my early 20s, and I barely made anything at all, but I would see him as I got in the subway every day to go home, and I'd be like, "Hey, Slim," and he'd be like, "Hey, big guy." And like he was there most of the time, sometimes he wasn't, and usually if I had anything at all, like I would just give it to him because it was like we built this impassing connection
Yeah.
and friendship, and then he wasn't there, like, he disappeared, I
Yeah.
didn't see him, and then it was I don't even know, maybe a year or a year and a half later, my wife, who was at the time either just my girlfriend or my fiancé, we were walking in the neighborhood near where the subway stop was, and he comes up to me. He's, "Oh my god, big guy." And I was like, "Slim." And he said, "I saw you, I wanted to say hello. This is my girlfriend. We're back on our feet. We're doing really well. I just wanted to say thank you for being so kind every time you saw me and passed me by." There was few people who did that. So it reiterates what you're talking about, the human connection, and you can do that literally with anyone, anywhere. So I love your story. I love that we had a story in common there as well. But I think it goes to like even the next level when you're talking about sisterhood and accountability and wanting to achieve goals in life. How are ways that women can cultivate in that in their daily lives, whether it's personal or professional? Have you found a way to do that, or what's information that you can share with my audience?
Yes, absolutely. I have built next level women because I was looking for a community and I didn't find that community. Now, I have been part of high level masterminds to grow my business and they were amazing. But usually these masterminds would last 6 months and then it's over. And so I was craving that community of women to keep me accountable because even now people say, oh, you're so confident. You're always so pumped up. That's not the case. There are many days I feel low. There are many days I don't even feel like getting out of my bed. But because I am building this community, these women pull me up. And so that's the power of finding your tribe. So I believe that in midlife, that's when people discover their purpose in life. That's when they start to pursue some dreams, whether that's building a business or changing careers, doesn't matter, but you need people to pull you up on days when you feel low. And there is an African proverb that says, if you want to go fast, go alone. But if you want to go far, go together. So finding a community of people who are all have the same goals is so crucial to helping you reach your goals. And so that's why I built this community because that is the same thing I was looking for myself. I didn't find. And so I am building this community for women.
I I love it. That community is important, and you're building one for people who are looking to elevate themselves. Now, is it just for people who are entrepreneurs, or is it open to even just somebody who's okay? I'm just looking for a community. I'm not an entrepreneur. I was the primary caregiver at home, and I'm just looking for connection and friendship and the ability to be like, oh, I can have more in life or career or business if it happens to be the case.
Yes, we've made it so inclusive so that you don't need to be an entrepreneur to join us because life can be so lonely. There are many things you can not easily tell your friends, right? Especially when it comes to your ambitions or your goals in life, whether that's in your career or in your business. And so having a safe space where you can share your struggles and also share your wins for people to encourage you, inspire you to the next level. I think it's just everybody needs that. And you don't have to be in my community to find that. You can actually go online and search because you don't have to pay, right? There are many free communities you can join. But I know the value of community. And so I encourage people, find your tribe. Life becomes so much more joyful when you have people to go life with.
Yeah, I totally agree 100%. Now, on your journey, I know you talk about this a little bit, is like you had to overcome childhood trauma and poverty. How did that kind of shape the way that you work with women today?
Oh, it drives what I do today because my life experience, I see that in so many other people. Maybe not childhood abuse, right? There is some form of trauma in a lot of people. It can be small trauma. So I'm not talking about, let's say, going through nasty wars or sexual abuse. It might not be as big as that. It might be something small that happened in our childhood that holds us back. Now, unresolved trauma has a way of holding us back from our full potential. And that held me back for so many years because I didn't feel I deserved success. And so now, even with my clients that I work with one on one, many of them come looking for a different strategy, for example. And then when we do the work, it wasn't about the strategy because I believe all strategies work. There is a reason why we don't achieve the success we want to achieve. And many times it goes back to an experience we had in our childhood. So my experience has helped me to empathize and understand where many people are coming from. And when we do the work and go back and uncover those experiences that hold people back and we resolve those trauma. Now, Sometimes it could be recommending a therapist, right? That could be an additional work that people have to do. But uncovering all of those childhood experiences that hold us back, I believe is the first step in entering our next level, entering our goals, our dreams, what we desire for ourselves in life.
That's such an important point that sometimes people do need therapy and coaching together because therapy unlocks what may be holding you back and coaching allows you to focus on moving forward. I'm super curious. You mentioned, oh, success wasn't for me. You saw that way, right? That was a viewpoint you had for a really long time. When did it switch? When were you like, oh, you know what? Success is for me.
Oh, it was a process. It didn't happen overnight. So I recognized that to get to my next level, I had to change who I was on the inside because the woman I was from the past wouldn't be the woman to achieve the success I wanted in the future. So I stumbled on coaching and I realized that even though we have a programming that we come into life with or that we absorb from society, that programming can be changed. Like I never knew that there was something called neuroplasticity that we could actually change our thought process to get different results. That was an eye-opening the process for me, discovering that I could actually change my thinking so I could change my results. So it was a process of identifying all of those belief systems, all of those thoughts that made me think I wasn't worthy of success. And it was a number of things like coming to London, the color of my skin, my accent, I didn't speak English well. All of those reinforced the idea that I wasn't deserving of success. So I had to rewire my brain to start to think differently. And I have to credit the work I did in the life coach school. That's where most of the work happened for me, for sure.
Okay. So for the woman who's listening and she's feeling invisible and burnt out and stuck, maybe stuck even in survival mode, what's one practical step they can take right now? Like they can pause this podcast right now. They could take this step to start rewriting their story and stepping into their next level. What's one practical tip for them?
Yes, one practical tip, and this is a tip that really worked for me, is finding evidence. Our brains like to see evidence. So in the world, go find evidence of a woman who has been through what you've been through and they've come out the other side. That will show your brain that this is possible for you too. Once that part of your brain sees that it is possible, then you can start believing differently. So I want you to, if you need to pause the podcast, go pause the podcast. Go find somebody who struggled the way you're struggling right now and who got out the other side. Study their story and allow your brain to start believing differently. And when your brain believes differently, you're going to create different results. You're going to start acting differently. You're going to start believing differently. And then that's how your actual physical results will change.
Yeah, folks, hot take. You don't have to pause the podcast. Joy herself is an example of what's possible.
Thank
Exactly.
you.
Her story is an example of what's possible. So stay with us right here, Joyce. I want to know, you said 25 when you left Nigeria to go to London to study. Okay. What was the driving factor that took you to London?
The driving factor was understanding that there was a different world outside of my world, that there was something called human rights. In my country, there's nothing, like, you don't have any rights as a human being. You can see you on the street and they'll treat you badly. Even the police, even the politician, like the way life runs back home is completely different. And so when I started to learn that in the UK, in Canada, in the US, people actually respected people and you could be successful without knowing people. So where I come from, if you don't know someone or sleep around with people, you will never be successful. So that idea of, oh, success is possible if I work hard, for example, that was what drew me to the UK. And so I saved up. I worked for 3 years back in my home country, saved up half my tuition to be able to enter the UK to study. And it was just the best decision of my life. Even as a student working, I was able to send money back home to feed my mom and dad. And it was just the best feeling in the world.
Okay, so then you're in London for 10 years. How did that growth continue?
It was tough.
Oh, yeah?
So, yeah, in London, I had to work odd jobs. So I would work in Marks and Spencers as a retail assistant during the day. And at night, I was a security guard because those were the jobs I could get, right? But I was so determined to find a way. So I did that for a couple of years. While I was doing that, I was still seeking professional jobs because at this time I already had a master's degree in business information technology. But all of those struggles, I feel, built me into the woman I am today. And so I got a professional job in a bank. It was so amazing. And then I just continued to grow. And I just give glory to God because a number of things happened. People showed up to help me that I just knew it was a supernatural intervention. Because back in the UK, after studying, you had to find an employer to sponsor your visa, right? So that was a huge challenge for me. And I was so blessed. The financial institution I was working at, they filed with the Home Office and gave me a work permit. And yeah, it's just been a journey of evolution for sure.
Okay, and so then you set out and you said, "Okay, Canada, that's where I need to go next." What was the driving force to take you to Canada?
It was my husband. So at this point, I got married, but I got married. He came from Nigeria to join me, and he was so depressed in London for some reason. Even though he was working with Accenture at the time, he was not just happy. And so I said, okay, we brought out the map of the world. I said, okay, where do you want to go? And he pointed and he said, Australia. And I'm like, oh, I don't really love Australia. I know it's super, super hot. Where else do you want to go? And then he pointed at Canada. I'm like, okay, let's go to Canada. And that's how we moved. So we moved in 2016. This is nearly 10 years now. Yeah.
Okay, and so that's how you just by randomly
Yeah.
picking a place on the map of the globe to say that's where we're headed next.
Yeah.
That's such an incredible story, and because it also highlights I think for people who are like, "Ooh, I don't even know how to get out of my comfort zone and go visit another city in the US, even like a couple cities down." It's, "Oh, you have to get comfortable with doing uncomfortable things," and you did just that. And I think that's how that's elevated you to be like, "Oh, you know what? This is possible for everybody.
Yeah.
This is possible for everybody." What's the biggest motivator in your life right now, Joy?
Oh, it has to be my daughter. It has to be my daughter. And I feel like she's the best gift I have from God. And I want to show her what's possible if you believe. So I want my life to be a testament to her that it doesn't matter your background. If you desire success, you can achieve success. So that's my biggest motivator. After my daughter, it will be the women back home where I come from. I want to be a role model for them. And I want to pave the way to say, doesn't matter the difficult circumstances you're going through. Because at the end of the day, sadly, even in 2025, girls are still being abused, sadly. So I want my life to be something they can look up to say, I can overcome if I believe, keep doing the work. Anything is possible for me.
Yes, so good, so powerful. I think it's such an important reminder for folks too, is for people, especially in the US and possibly Canada as well, is like we have things pretty good in terms of where we are. Yes, it can always be better, but it could also always be worse for us too. And I love that you show up as an example of what's possible for people who think that they can't be successful and that they don't know how to take the next step. So I'm curious, in your journey throughout the whole time that you've been doing things, what's one thing you've learned about yourself?
I've learned that I can do hard things. Like I never used to believe I could do hard things, but now I have come to love and respect myself. And that took a
Mm,
while because I would look in the mirror, I'll not look love what I see in the mirror. But now I have so much love and respect for myself. And yeah, it's just yeah, I'm just really blessed.
yeah, it's such a powerful thought that I love and respect myself. Joy, have you ever thought about writing a book?
I have.
You have thought
I have
about it? Okay.
Yeah, I have. It's definitely in the works for me. Yeah, I feel like I don't have I want to say the mentorship. I'm gonna seek out mentorship to write my book, yeah. But
Okay.
it's somewhere in the back of my mind.
Yeah, your story is such an interesting one. I think it would be a fantastic read and just another way for you to voice what you do and how you get the word out there to people. It's such an interesting and compelling story of really of anything's possible in life when you become determined enough to go after what you want.
Thank you so much for that. It truly means a lot. If you have any resources or any book coach you can send my way, I would really appreciate that.
I'll take a look in my network and see what I have. Uh, before I let you go, just like one parting words of wisdom for people who may be wondering, I'm not sure I can do this.
Yeah, I can tell you for a fact that you can do this. And I want to encourage you to start with self acceptance, then self love. I feel like when you truly love yourself, you will show up differently and you'll see how powerful you are. I'm a woman of faith, and I believe that God has blessed each and every one of us with gifts and talents. And it is our obligation to leverage all of those gifts and talents. So, my word of wisdom would be learn how to love yourself, do the inner work to respect and love yourself, and you're gonna see the world unfold for you.
You heard it right here, folks. Do the inner work and watch the world unfold for you. Such a powerful statement. Joy, thank you so much for joining me today on this emptiness life. And I wish you all the best in your future endeavors.
Thank you so much.